Namaste and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sat means truth, logos means study or science, Sattology means science of truth or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which is based on Sanskrit root word myth, which means a study, fake lie or imagination. So mythology means study or science of fake lie imagination. Now there are a lot of mythologies being created by academics and politicians to put somebody else down. Like in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says, that's how an Asura thinks. Asura thinks, I've killed somebody today. There's no one like me. I'm the richest. I'm the happiest. That's how the Asura thinks. And that's how the mythology has been created. And it has created greatest damage to the native populations all over the world. If you look at South America, the number of languages spoken in South America are approximately 8,900 languages. But only Spanish or Portuguese is the official language, or English. And this is Europeanization, colonization of South America. Same thing happened with US. There were more than 75 so far recorded native languages. Not a single one is being taught in the schools. Even though there are 7 million Native Americans in the USA, not a single one taught, or there is not much research done on that, not literatures or books written in those languages, including the temples in the natives in the USA. Many of the temples, even today till date, people are fighting on gas pipelines over the sacred sites of Native Americans. People are fighting on building walls on top of the Native American sites. So it is going on today. It is not about yesterday. So colonization is still going on. The 21 missions of Roman Catholic Church, they were responsible for the maximum number of capturing maximum number of Native American kids and putting Native Americans as slaves. And nothing has been done. Nothing has been questioned till date. So a lot of things have been going on. But in any case, we have a very interesting topic, and which is historicity of Bhagwan Krishna's birth. And that's what we're going to speak about. There are more proofs of Bhagwan Krishna's birth, and I would rather say appearance, avatar. It is Bhagavad Gita where he says that I come on my own, Atma Maya. So birth is for regular people, but here he comes on his own. And secondly, he says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tektva devam punarjanam neti mam eti so Arjuna. He says, is very divya, divine, cannot be understood by humans. So that's how most of our acharyas never focus on that. So a very, very special guest, and you know him very well. He has come on very good shows. He has given us a lot of information. So without delay, let us welcome Dr. M.L. Raja.
Namaskar.
So, Dr. Raja, so much mythology has been created by the politicians and the so-called vested interest. Vested interest means those who want to create artificial superficiality or superiority all over the world. So, how does it compare to now? India has most of the Indians are highly educated, and like yourself, you're a doctor, and then many other Indians. How do they see their culture being called mythology by the Western academics?
See, there are two types of people in India. See, for example, those people who highly educated, when they see the limit of science, they understand spirituality. For example, even ISRO, number one successful space launching organization in the world. But every time they worship Lord Venkateswara before launching the vehicle. That one type of persons. Some people who they call themselves as highly educated, but they question based on the Western people's opinion and writings, they question their own culture, their own tradition, their own heritage as mythology. Even here people are still not believing Rama and Krishna as avatara. They are saying we are archaeologists, we are historians. See, if you travel and achieve more and more in science, when you reach the highest end of science, at the point you can realize that science has limitations. It cannot go beyond that. See, our eyes can see only 373 to 700 nanometers of electromagnetic radiation. When the people who are highly educated reach that limitation, they can understand Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Avatara, everything. Those people, those who are not reached that highest level in science, they are somewhere in the middle or lower level. They think that science is complete. It can give you any knowledge. So those people only are questioning and their own culture, their own truth as mythology. But today, most of the scientists, most of the brilliant people, intelligent people realized that what our Rishi Jnanis told are complete truth, nothing but truth. Only those people not educated up to higher level, they are only questioning. That too based on vested interest people's opinion and writing their questioning. Slowly the situation is changing.
And another question which comes in the mind is like the Indian. See, the thing is, Indian Foreign Office, Indian education system. Indian Foreign Office is doing a good work protecting the interests of India, but the Indian Education Ministry is not doing the good work in protecting the education of India. Because I'm not trying to blame anyone, but the thing is, most of the Indian Americans and other people who want, because you as an individual we cannot fight against the system. American education system is known for creating a kind of a fake news. Like, for example, they teach in their textbooks that Krishna Bhagwan created caste system. Arjun was against the caste system. That's what he says. And it is a Krishna who created the war, not Arjun. Now they are saying like that, even though their authors are claiming Bhagavad Gita to be the only spiritual book. Like Mark Twain said, if you read Bhagavad Gita, that's the only spiritual book he has ever read. Now there's a big contrast in between their poets and philosophers and the academics, because the academics, we clearly know that the government creates an academic to propagate its views. That's how the Western society works. So why is India not defending it? Indian Education Ministry not defending it globally?
So slowly situation is changing. Indian Education Ministry, they started one thing, Indian Knowledge System, IKS division of Education Ministry. They are working on these lines to collect all the knowledge treasure throughout India, and they put it in a proper way and to propagate what Indian knowledge system has achieved in the ancient and remote past and also recent past. That is working on it. Indian knowledge system, IKS, Bharat Jnan Parampara, like that they are working. So slowly the situation is changing, but one thing, the speed is not that much sufficient, because we have to do with vast activities, but it is slowly going on. That is the only thing we can say, but it may improve in another 2 or 3 years. That is the thing. IKS division is doing much in this aspect.
So we can begin with the presentation, I think, today's.
Okay.
And while viewers, you're watching him set up the presentation, and I'll just say that that's why I quoted 2 shloka of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna himself says that he is beyond. He says, I am the source of Paramatma. I am the source of Brahma. He says many things in Bhagavad Gita. So, yes, please go ahead, Dr. Raja.
Okay. Vanakkam, namaskar. I wholeheartedly express my thanks to Sri Aditya ji and also the volunteers of Sattology and the eminent professors, scholars, and my beloved students of various American universities who are watching this lecture even at a time of 5 o'clock and even at Hawaii Island 2 o'clock. So with that much dedication, they come and join this lecture. So I express my heartfelt thanks to all the students and professors and scholars. In this lecture, I am going to narrate about the date of Shri Krishna Avatara. What are all the literature and epigraphic evidence? See, when you visit Mathura or Vrindavan and Barsana, Nandgaon or Gokul, Govardhanagiri, even the day-to-day life of the people, day-to-day routine of the people, their heritage, their tradition, what they are following in their daily routine life, that itself proves that Shri Krishna Avatara is a historical event. If you observe through your soul, you can easily identify Shri Krishna Avatara doesn't need any other proof except this. So, if you go on read literature like Purana, Itikasa, then there are enough evidence to prove that Shri Krishna Avatara is a definite historical event that happened some thousands of years before present. Even after more than 5,000 years, people are still living in that tradition. They are following in their day-to-day, even small affairs. You can watch with your soul, and through that you can realize that Shri Krishna Avatara is a historical event. So there is no need to prove Shri Krishna Avatara as a historical event. So it is already proved. Only thing I want to add is when Shri Krishna Avatara occurred and when it completed. That date, that year alone. Because Shri Krishna Avatara is already completely proved, and India has a great opportunity to give the omnipotent, omnipresent Almighty to come as an avatara and walked on this land and played and everything he has done. So there is no need to prove it. Only thing I want to express, what is his date? See, especially I have to thank Aditya ji once again. I have given thousands of lectures, but this lecture is unique, and it gives me Atma Tripti because I am going to narrate about Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That is, I think I am totally blessed by Bhagavan Krishna himself. Unless without his blessings, I cannot talk on him. So I thank Aditya ji, and also I wholeheartedly express my gratitude to Shri Krishna for talking on him. So in this I am going to narrate what is when the Shri Krishna Avatara happened, when he completed his purpose of Avatara and went to Vaikunta, on which year, that I am going to narrate. For example, Brahmanda Purana, Madhya Bhaga, 74th Adhyaya, 241st Sloka. You see this, Yasmin Krishno Divyam Yataha. Divyam, that is heaven. Yataha means when. So, Yasmin, when Shri Krishna left for heaven, Tasmin Yeva Tadadine. Yeva is to stress that on the very same day. That is the purpose of adding this Sanskrit word Yeva. Tasmin Yeva Tadadine. On the very same day, Pradipannaha Kaliyuka. That means Kaliyuka commenced. Tasya Sankyam, its count, Nibodada, thus to be perfectly understood. So it is completely told. Nothing, it is explicitly told. When Shri Krishna left for heaven, on the very same day, Kali Yuga commenced, and you have to comment the number of years of Kali Yuga from that day. That is the meaning of this Brahmanda Purana. In Vayu Purana, in the Uttarartha 37th Adhyaya, 422 to 423 Sloka, same thing. Nothing, no, not even a single letter altered. Yasmin Krishno Divyam Yataka. When Shri Krishna left for heaven, Tasmin eva tadadine. Here also he added eva. On the very same day, Pradipannaha Kaliyuga. Kaliyuga began, commenced. Tasya Sankyam Nibodata. From that you have to count Kaliyuga years. Matsya Purana in the 274th Adhyaya 48-49 sloka mentioned same thing. Yasmin Krishno Divyam Yataka. When Shri Krishna left for heaven, Tasmin Yeva, here also he added Yeva, Tada Akani. Akani means a day. Dina you can tell as day or Akani also day. Pradipannam Kaliyugam. Here it mentioned as Kaliyugam as a Nabumsalika, previously masculine gender. Pramanam Tasya me Srunu. Srunu, you hear, listen. This is the Pramanam. This is the proof. So he completely, the author of Matsya Purana tell it is Pramanam, based on Pramanam, based on proof only I am telling that when Shri Krishna left for heaven, on the very same day, Kali Yuga commenced. It is a Pramanam, it is a proof. No need to have additional evidence. That much he has given. Brahma Purana, the 118th Adhyaya, 8th sloka mentioned in the same way. You can see Yasmin Dine Harir Yate. Here Krishna is mentioned as Hari. Harihi. Divam Sadyajja Medini. Medini means earth. Sadyajja, he left the earth. So he left the earth and went for heaven. Tasmin Avatirna Ayam Kalakaya Kalihi Kila. On that day only Kali has commenced. Sri Vishnu Purana, 5th part, 38th Adhyaya, 8th sloka mentioned in the same way. Yasmin Dine Harir Yata Divam Satyajja Medini. He left the earth and went to heaven on that day. Yasmin Dine, that day. Tasmin Yeva, on the same day. Tada Avatirna Ayam Kalakaya Bali Kalihi. So even Parasara Rishi, father of Vedavyasa himself mentioned that this is the day. Okay, exactly same. And Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st skanda, 18th Adhyaya, 6th sloka mentioned in the same way. Yasman Ahani Bhagavan Utsarjam Jagam. So he left for his abode. Abravava Kalihi. Kali comments on the same day. Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th skanda, mentioned in the same way in the 30th sloka. Vishnor Bhagavato Banuhu Krishna Divam Gataga. Krishna went for his abode. Yavassa, this is an important thing. Yavassa Pada Badmabhyam Sprusan Asti Ramapadihi Tavat Kali Prithvim Parakranta Asakat. That means till Shri Krishna's Ramapati, that is Lakshmipati, Shri Krishna, lotus foot is touching the earth, Kali could not enter into earth. So only when leaving, Shri Krishna leaving for heaven, Kali entered. In the 34th sloka, Yasmin Krishno Divam Yata Tasmin Neva Tada Akani Pradipannam Kaliyukam Prahuhu Puravitaka. Same thing. When Shri Krishna left for heaven, on the same day, Kali Yuga commenced. So this much evidence is there that Shri Krishna left heaven and on the same day, Kali began. So if you know when Kali began, in which year Kali Yuga began, you can easily understand when Shri Krishna Avatara was completed. The purpose of Shri Krishna Avatara completed and Shri Krishna went to heaven. On the very day, the Kali Yuga began. So, if you understand when Kali Yuga began, you can easily say, find out when Krishna Avatara is completed. When Kali Yuga began, there are literature and epigraphic evidence for that. First literature, Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya means future. It tells future things. In this Adhyaya sloka, it means Pramara, the Agni Vamsa king, started his dynasty in 2920th year of Kali Yuga. And Vikramaditya, whose era commences in 57 BCE, he was born in 3000 year Kali Yuga. This is the thing. You can see in the 7th, 8th sloka and 14th, 15th sloka. Purne dvecha sahasrante sapta trimsa sade. It is not trimsat sade. You can see there is no it. Trimsa sade means 30 added to 100 into 7. So 910 years. Varshe dasa abde adhiya. That is 10 you have here. Purne dvesha sahasre. So 2920 years. Pramaro nama bhupadaka. He started his dynasty. And this Purne trimsat sade varshe kalo prapte Vikramaditya namanam pita kritva. So Vikramaditya born and his pita father named him as a Vikramaditya. Purne trimsat sade means varshe kalo means 3000 year of Kali. So that we can easily understand. And Jyotir Vidaparanam of Kalidasa. Kalidasa is a famous poet and he wrote astrology text also that is known as Jyotir Vidaparanam. In the 22nd Adhyaya and the 21st sloka, he mentioned that he started writing this Jyotir Vidaparanam in the year 3068 year of Kali Yuga. And in the 10th sloka, he mentioned King Vikramaditya, who started his era in 57 BCE, and Varahimira, the famous astronomer, and Kalidasa, and many scholars were contemporary. We know that King Vikramaditya era started his era in 57 BCE. It is proved by more than 10,000 inscriptions. Hence proves that King Vikramaditya lived in 57 BC means 1st century BCE. He born in Kali 3000. Then it shows Kali Yuga began in 1st century of BCE. See, this is the sloka. Varsaihi Sindura Darshana Ambara Gunar Yatav Kalo Samnite. Kalo means 7th Vibhakti, that is Kali. Sindura is elephant, 8 elephant. Darshana is Sad Darshana, so 6. Ambara is sky, so 0. Guna is 3 Guna, Sattva Rajas Tamas. So 3068 Kali. Here he started writing this Jyotir Vidaparanam. And who are all there in the Vikramaditya Sabha Navaratna? Dhanvantri, Shapanaka, Amarasimha, Sanghu, Vedalapatta, Gadakatpara, Kalidasaha, Kyato Varahimigra, that is senior most person, Varahimigra, Nirupatehe, the king, Sabaya, that king's court, Ratnani, Navaratnani, here Nava is there, Vararusi, 9th person is Vararusi, Vikramasya. So Kalidasa is contemporary to Vikrama, and we know Kalidasa wrote Jyotir Vidaparanam 3068 Kali. So Vikrama also in 3068 Kali he also lived. So his era commenced 57 BC. So based on that we can mention that Kali Yuga began in 31st century before Common Era. And in Jyotir Vidaparanam, Kalidasa mentioned the 10th Adhyaya, 110 to 114 sloka. That is 3044 years after King Yudhishthira, King Vikramaditya started his Vikrama Samvat. And after that, 135 years after Vikrama Samvat, King Salivagana started his Salivagana Saga. So King Yudhishthira to King Vikramaditya, 3044 years. King Yudhishthira to King Salivagana, 3179 years. So that we can understand. Jayapvidya Yudhishthira Saga is different from Yudhishthira Saga, and it began on the same year or just 1 year before Kali Yuga. This is Jyotir Vidaparanam of Kalidasa. You can see Yudhishthira, Vikrama, Salivagana. These are all future. Vijayabhinandana, Nagarjuna, and Bali, Kramat in order, Shat, Sakakaraka, Kalau. These are all the 6 persons who will start their era in Kali. The difference of years he mentioned in this sloka. So this is definitely proof that from Yudhishthira to Vikramaditya, 3044 years, to Salivagana, 3179 years. This is literature evidence. There is an inscription evidence also for this. That is stone inscription at Sri Hanuman Temple, Jaisalmer. It is published in Journal of Royal Asiatic Society, Great Britain and Ireland in the year 1911 itself. It mentions 4,898 years of Yudhishthira and 1,854 for Vikrama and 1,719 for Salivagana. If you calculate, it is 3,044 Yudhishthira to Vikrama, 3,179 Yudhishthira to Salivagana. So inscriptional evidence also there. Exactly matches with the literature evidence. Both are mentioning same number, not even one number plus or minus. It is this whole inscription is transliteration given in the book by Dr. S.R. Vandarkar sir, the report of second tour in 1906. This book you can download. In this you can see 4,898, 1,854, 1,790. Salivagana, Vikrama, Yudhishthira. So there are inscriptional and literature evidence that 3,044 is the difference between Vikrama to Yudhishthira to Vikrama and 3,179 to Yudhishthira to Salivagana. That we should understand. And the Salivagana saga era began in 3,179 Kali. That is proved by astronomical texts. Vadesar Siddhanta, Sisyadi, Vriddhida Tantra, Lalacharya, Maha and Lakhu Bhaskara. You can download this book or you can buy. Clearly mentioned Kali Yuga at 3,179 only Salivagana saga began. So, Jyotirvidaparanam, astrological text and astronomical text and inscription clearly prove that after Yudhishthira to Salivagana, there is a difference of 3,179 years. That we can understand. There are more than 20,000 inscriptions for Salivagana saga to prove it began in 78 Common Era. Because those inscriptions, many inscriptions mention other era also. That is like Kochi era, or Kollam era, or Ganga era, many other era they will mention. Even Vikrama era also they will mention. And they will mention the names of dynasties and kings. Through that, the inscription date we can calculate. Based on that, we can prove that Salivagana saga began in 78 Common Era. This applies same to Vikrama Samvat and it is proved 57 BCE by more than 10,000 inscriptions. Even Government of India follows this Vikrama Samvat 57 BCE and Salivagana 78 Common Era in its calendar. And most important thing is, this is the most important calendar, either found out in Kashmir or North India. This is a calendar for the Kali Yuga year 4,894. So it is published in 1891 in Indian Antiquary volume 20, 149 to 154 pages, written by Professor F. Keilhorn. In that he mentioned that in the chambers of collection of manuscripts of the Berlin Library in Germany, he found out in 1891, even at that year, a worm-eaten roll of paper. Already it is damaged. Now, how many years? It has gone more than 100 years. Whether it is available or not, we don't know. Only proof is we can have in Indian Antiquary Volume 20. For the year 1793. So, for this 1793, 1794 itself, that is more than 228 years we are having calendar. So that much is antiquity itself, we are having calendar. In that, what are all the era mentioned? See, Saptarisi era 4,869, Sri Saka, that is Salivagana Saga 1715, Vikrama Samvat 1850, Kali Yuga 4,894. For easy understanding, I separate. So, you see, Vikrama Samvat to Kali Yuga, here also 3,044. Kali Yuga to Salivagana Saga, 3,179. The additional interesting thing is, it mentions the number of years since the creation of this universe. That is this beginning of the Kalpa. How many years passed? 197 crore, 29 lakh, 48,894 years. It is not only that, the remaining period for the universe, that also it mentioned 234 crore, 70 lakhs, 51,106 years. So they calculate. Excellent calculation. Maharyabhata Siddhanta mentioned at the Kali Yuga beginning, the number of years elapsed is this much, and this is Kali Yuga is 4,894. If we add this, it comes exactly. So this literature and this calendar exactly matches, not even single year difference. And the remaining period of Kali Yuga also it is mentioned. So that much important. So this is already worn eaten, whether it is available or not. But we are having an evidence in the Indian Antiquity volume 20. You can download that volume and you can verify. So now coming, I have proved all literary evidence. Now for inscriptional evidence, this I have already in the first lecture in Sattology I have narrated. But just to highlight 1 or 2, 3, 4 inscriptions only I will show, not all. First thing we have to understand on reading this inscriptional evidence, Yudhishthira was contemporary to Shri Krishna. There is no doubt in it. And Shri Krishna was only responsible for the Yudhishthira's victory in Mahabharata war. Only Shri Krishna is the most important personality in Mahabharata war, and his strategy and planning alone gave victory to Yudhishthira. So that nobody can deny it. So if you have institutions that prove the date of Mahabharata war or date of Yudhishthira or some other persons, even Kali era, that definitely prove the date of Shri Krishna. In that way, we have to understand. So that is the importance of this Kali era inscription or any inscription mentioning Mahabharata war or the Yudhishthira or some other persons who participated in the Mahabharata war, definitely will be a proof to date of Shri Krishna. The best examples are Aihole, Bhattara, Nidanpur. Just Jaisalmer I have already described. So Aihole inscription is the famous inscription at Karnataka state after Mahabharata war in 3735th year Kali Yuga and 556th year of Sakara, that is Salivagana era. This inscription is engraved. So we know 556 Salivagana Saga is 634 Common Era. This proves Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. And this inscription and many inscriptions may mention that Pulikeshitu was contemporary to Harsasthaneswara Pusyabudhi dynasty. It is mentioned by Chinese traveler Huan Shuang also. And Pallava king Mahendra Varma and Narasimha Varma were contemporary as per Kuram copper plate and many inscriptions of Chola and Pallava. So thus all these things prove that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. And coming to Nidanpur copper plate inscription, the most important thing, it is found in Nidanpur village, Silhat, Bangladesh. Previously it is in Kamarupa, that is Assam. It mentions King Naraka, who in his genealogy born Bhagadatta, who fought with Vijaya. This inscription mentioned that Bhagadatta fought with Arjuna in Mahabharata war, and Pushpadatta and Vajradatta they ruled. The fight between Arjuna and Bhagadatta mentioned in Mahabharata text Durona Parva 27. So this both inscription and literature matches exactly. Wherever there is literature evidence and inscription, it exactly matches. I have shown 3 or 4 evidence. So after 3000 years, after Vajradatta, there are 3000 years gap, and many kings ruled in that genealogy, in that dynasty. After that, King Pushyavarma became a king, and the 16th king is King Bhaskara Varma, who issued this Nidanpur copper plate inscription. I thank ASI and also this Dupi copper plate inscription and Nalanda clay plate. I thank ASI for using the photograph. So in that all the 3 things he mentioned his genealogy. So from and Harsha Charita Banabhatta. Banabhatta is chief minister of Harsha, and he wrote Harsha Charita, the history of Harsha, in the 7th chapter. That is earlier period of Harsha. At that time only just Harsha became king. In that there is a messenger from Assam, Prajodisa Ishwarena Kumarena. Other name for Bhaskara Varma is Kumara. Prahito Hamsaveganama. He met Harsha. So at the early period of his rule. And Huan Shuang already mentioned, CUK already mentioned that this Bhaskar Varma and Harsha Siladitya were contemporary. We know the period of Harsha Siladitya is 606 to 647 Common Era. So Hamsavega would have met around 610 Common Era. So at that time, Bhaskar Varma was ruling Assam. So 3000 years plus regnal period of 16 kings had elapsed from the year of Mahabharata war up to 610 Common Era. So if we know 16 kings regnal period, we can easily calculate when Mahabharata war and Kali Yuga began. If it is 50, it is 1800 years, 50 for each king. If it is 30, it is 40, 480 years. So the era of Mahabharata varies from 3190 BCE to 2870 BCE. So this is the period of Shri Krishna. Based on that, we can mention. And another inscription is Bhattara inscription. King Govinda Kesavavarman, whose regnal period is 990 to 1040, that mentions 4,151 years from Yudhishthira. Based on that, you can mention Yudhishthira period 3161 to 321 BCE. Thus, this may be the completion of Krishna Avatara. Based on Bhattara inscription, we can find out. And Bhuvaneshwari inscription is in Jammu Kashmir. It mentions Kali era, Laukika era, and the Sultan of Kashmir is Zian ul Abidin. This period we know. Based on that, also we can prove Kali Yuga began in 310 BC. This is the inscription photocopy. I thank the author and publisher of this book. And Gramam inscription is from Tamil Nadu. First, I have taken photocopy. This mentions Kali days also. We know the period of Madurai Konda Koparakesari Parandaka Chola Chakravarti. So it also proves that Kali Yuga began in 310 BC. This is the inscription. And this is a new inscription. After my publishing of my book, I found out from Odisha. Here also Kali date is mentioned in Narasimha or Gundicha temple, Sonepur, Odisha. This is Narasimha and Lakshmi Mata idols. Here this inscription is there. Here another inscription is there. At the entry of Jagamohana shrine, both mentioned Kali date. Based on that also, we know the period of that tune who inscribed. So that we based on that we can prove. And this is Idar Museum inscription in Gujarat. Vikrama Sambat is mentioned, Kali mentioned. If you see that from Kali, it is 3044 years. So not only Jaisalmer inscription or Kalidasa Jyotirvidaparanam, and this inscription is also exactly matches. That we should understand. This is a recent, I have found out, this is Uppatur stone inscription. Many people asked me, why there is no inscription before 1500 years? After 500 Common Era only, you have shown many inscriptions. Is there is any inscription that dated in Kali Yuga before 2000 years before or 1500 years? So I searched for it. It is mentioned Divi Sagasra Kalau Prapte, Kali 2000. Kali 2000 means you can see 1110 or BCE. So 3000 years before inscription. This is the photocopy of the inscription. It is an Uppaturu Agragaram. This is the Sivalinga temple. This is the inscription. And King Trinetra Pallava is the king who brought 1000 Brahmana families from Varanasi and settled, created an Agragaram. For that he inscribed total 156th line inscription. 107th line has this date. So that is another thing. And in Tamil Nadu, I found out a copper plate in Alattur near Coimbatore. It's a Kariyakaliamman temple in Alattur. It mentions Kali Yuga date 2437. That is 664 BCE. 2600 years before. 685 years before. So there are inscriptions are there even in a remote past also. And this I have already explained in Malay, that is southern Thailand. There is a Sanskrit inscription that mentioned Kali Yuga Varsha 4332. This is the place of that inscription here. This is India. This is Thailand. Here is the location of the inscription. So he is contemporary. The king is contemporary to Parakrama Bahu of Ceylon, whose period we know. Based on that, we calculate that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. These are all the evidences. It is a French article published in Leo Rome di Sri Vijaya, Bulletin di High Court Francis di Oriente. And this is Epigraphia Jailanica, archaeological publication of Ceylon and history of Sri Vijaya, and 3 more articles are there, evidence are there. So based on this, if we analyze the date of 367 inscriptions, 84% can be cross-verified, cross-checked through various data and era and name of the kings and dynasty other than the Kali date. So based on that, it proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC, absolute, perfect and correct. And I have found out more than 250 additional inscriptions. Even those inscriptions also prove that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. There is a foreign evidence. These are all some of the locations. See, it is throughout India. It is from north, south, east, west, east, everywhere the inscriptions, separated by thousands of kilometers in different languages, issued by different dynasties and kings, issued from a period of 3000 years before to 100 years. So more than 3000 years, the difference time is there. Even then, all the inscriptions point to one date, that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. So from this we can understand that Shri Krishna Avatara was completed in 3101 BCE, because on the day only Kali Yuga began, and when Shri Krishna left the world, on the very same day only Kali Yuga can begin. That we have proved 6 or 7 literature proof I have already proved. Now we want to know when the Avatara began, when the Avatara happened. Completion of Avatara I have completed. It is 3101 BC. When it began, that is, evidence are there in Vishnu Purana, Bhagavatam, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahma Purana, and Mahabharata. Mahabharata itself, there are evidence. First, Brahma Purana, in the 67th Adhyaya, 63 and 64 sloka, and 88th Adhyaya, 26th sloka is there. You see, Dwaparam Yukamasadhya. And you see, Dwaparante Hare Janma Yaduvamse Bhavishyadi. That is at the end of Dwapara, not in Kali. You can understand, Brahma Purana clearly mentioned Dwaparante. Ante means at the end. At that period only, Hare Janma Yaduvamse, in the Yadukula, Bhavishyadi, it is going to happen. So that clearly ruled out that you cannot put Shri Krishna Avatara in Kali Yuga. It is at the end of Dwapara. And Mahabharatam of Vedavyasa in the Santi Parva. Various editions, the Adhyaya may vary. Here you see Dwaparasya Kalechaiva Sandau Kamse Hetu Mathurayam Bhavishyati. To eliminate Kamsa in Mathura, this Avatara is going to happen. Mahabharata Santi Parva. Vedavyasa himself told. Shri Vishnu Purana Parasara Rishi mentioned in the 5th part, 1st Adhyaya, 78 sloka. It is an important sloka. When the Avatara Dina of Shri Krishna, it clearly mentioned Pravrut Kale. You see, this is the 78th sloka. In the 1st Adhyaya, 5th part, Pravrut Kale. Pravrut Kale means a rainy season. Nabashi. Nabaha is the month, Sravana month. Nabaha means Sravana month. Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Titi. Nisi, at night. So in the rainy season, in the Sravana month, Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Titi, at night, to Devaki Mata, this Krishna Avatara happened. Shri Vishnu Purana clearly mentioned. Pravrut Kale cha Nabashi Krishna Ashtabhyam. Aham Nisi, like that. And Srimad Bhagavatam mentioned Krishna Avatara Nakshatra is Rohini Nakshatra. This is the thing. Yekhyerva Ajana Janma Akshi. From Ajana, who is not going to born. Actually, Aditya ji told, we can only born. Sri Krishna can take only Avatara. He clearly mentioned. This is the thing. Vedavyasa also, like Aditya ji mentioned. Ajana from Narayana, who will not born. From him born the Prajapati, and Prajapati is the ruling deity for Rohini Nakshatra. So Sri Krishna Avatara happened in Rohini Nakshatra, as much Sri Bhagavatam, 10th Skanda, 3rd Adhyaya, 1st sloka. And Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th skanda, 6th adhyaya, 25th, 26th year. We know when the day, even season, in the month. But how many years? That we want to know. Then only we can calculate. So for that, Srimad Bhagavatam helps us. Brahma himself told to Shri Krishna, see, Yaduvamse avatirna asya bhavataha Purushottama. Saraga means year. Saradritu meaning, and Saraga means year also. Sara can say. Sadam Vyatiyaya 100 years. Panjavimsadi, that means 25. Panjavimsadi adhikam prabho. So Sadam Panjavimsadi adhikam 125 years. So Brahma told to Sri Krishna, 125 years have been completed since your avatara in Yatuvamsa. And now there is nothing remains in the purpose of your avatara. So that purpose of that avatara has been completed. That is the thing Brahma told to Sri Krishna in this sloka. Bhagavatam, 11th skanda, 6th adhyaya, 25th to 26th sloka. And Brahma Vaivarta Prana in the Krishna Janma Kanda, 129th adhyaya, 18th sloka mentioned, Yat Panjavimsatya. Panjavimsatya means 25, adhikam, more. Varshanam, sadakam, that means 100 years plus 25 years. Gadam, it has gone. Already 125 years have been completed. So, Tyaktave mam Swapadam Yasi. Swapadam means his own abode. That is Vaikunda. Yasini, you are ready to proceed to your divine abode. That is the thing Brahma told to Sri Krishna. So after the completion of 125 years from his birth, on the 126th year, Sri Krishna left the world to reach his Vaikunda. That is the thing. So now it is clear. We know the year, we know the month, we know the season, we know the Paksha, we know the Tithi, and also we know the Nakshatra. Everything we know. From 3100 BCE, that is the year of completion of Avatara. Based on that, if you back calculate, you can easily get the date of Sri Krishna Avatara. So Kali Yuga began in 310 BCE. I shown literature and epigraphic evidence. Kali Yuga began on the very same day when Sri Krishna departed from earth. I have shown all the evidence very clearly. It is pramanam. Matsya Pranam mentioned it is pramanam. Nothing else is needed to prove. So Sri Krishna departed from the earth in 3100 BCE. And 125 years were completed. So 126th year was the current on completion of Sri Krishna Avatara since Avatara Dina. This is literature evidence. And as per Bhagavatam and Vishnu Purana, Avatara happened in Rohini Nakshatra, Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Tithi, Sarvana month, rainy season around midnight. Thus, we calculate Sri Krishna Avatara Dina is 126 years before Kali Yuga, or 3227 BCE. In the rainy season, Saravana month, Rohini Nakshatra, Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Tithi, night in Rishabha Lagna. As per Suta Maharishi, another Maharishi, it is Rishabha Lagna. And if we calculate the position of that also, it will give Rishabha Lagna only. I have developed a software that is entirely based on our Indian calendar system. That is, we are using the year as Kali Yuga only, and the month as Saitra Vaisakha, like that, Jeshta, like that month only we are using. And the day also we are using Tithi only, Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha, Tithi only. And all calculations are based on the ancient astronomical text, that is trigonometric and astronomical mathematical calculations. Based on that, I applied this, that is 126 years before Kali Yuga, in the Saravana month and the Krishna Paksha Ashtami Tithi. What my software gives, this is at the morning time, 126 year before Kali Yuga, this is the positions of all Navagraha. At 11:36 p.m. night, this is the position. So from moon to sun, if it is Krishna Paksha Ashtami Tithi, from sun to moon, it should be 264 to 274 degree. That 276 degree. If you calculate, moon is 44 degree. So it has crossed from 138 to 360, then 44. So it is 444. 4, if you minus 138, it is 266 degree. So it is definitely Krishna Paksha Ashtami Tithi. And 44 degree means in Rohini Nakshatra only. Because Rohini Nakshatra angle is 40 degree to 53.20 degree. So that is also proved correct. And sun is in Simha zodiac sign. That means it is definitely both in Chandramana and Suryamana, it is Shravana month. And you see Saturn is in his own zodiac sign, 273. Mars is in his own zodiac sign, so highly powerful. And Mercury is in his own zodiac sign and exalted, so highly powerful. And Sun is in his own zodiac sign, so it is also powerful. Moon is in an exalted position, that too in Rohini Nakshatra, is highly powerful. So Sun, Moon, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury are highly powerful in Shri Krishna's period. And at 11:36, it is Rishabha Lagna only. So based on that, I calculated the horoscope of Shri Krishna. So this is South Indian calculation. This is North Indian. So you see, Rishabha Rasi, Lagnam is Moon, and Sun is in his own zodiac sign. Mercury is exalted and in its own zodiac sign. Mars is in its own zodiac sign. Saturn is in its own zodiac sign. Suppose Venus would have gone here, it should be depressed. So it has not gone there. With the sun, it stays there. So this is the Jataka of Shri Krishna Avatara Din. So with that, I want to conclude. So the Avatara Din of Shri Krishna is 126 years before Kali Yuga. This software I had developed based on Nirayana method, because if I use the Sayana method, I got to understand what is the value and velocity of precision of equinox. Then only I can calculate. All the astronomical software, modern software, using Sayana method, so it cannot be correct to a ancient date. But my method is only Nirayana method, Kali Yuga, and Chaitradi month, and Tithi is Indian calendar system, and I have used Indian text as a reference, so it is correct. So Avatara Din of Shri Krishna is 126 years before Kali Yuga. That is 8,63,874th year of Dwapara Yuga, Dwapara Ante, because 8,64,000 is the Dwapara Yuga. So what I have shown, Dwapara Ante, that is correct. And in the rainy season, Shravana month, Rohini Nakshatra, Krishna Paksha, Ashtami night. That is 3227 BCE, or 5,248 years before present at 2021 Common Era. And Avadara completion year is 3101 BCE. This is the conclusion, and my contact numbers are there. I actually express again, once again, to Aditya ji for giving me an excellent opportunity to talk about Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Really, it is a great bhagya and fortune to me. And I also express my Nandri, Dhanyavadaga, and thanks to Aditya ji and volunteers of Sattology, and also the professors, scholars, and students of various universities of United States of America. I thank once again. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's a great presentation, and I think full of quotes of different acharyas. You know, one of the sessions we'd like to do, we should do, is also the history of Devanagari and history of Brahmi scripts.
Yes.
Written scripts we should do, because there is a lot of confusion between different languages of India, the way it is written. The general characteristic of Devanagari is left to right, and hanging scripts. So, you know, if you read carefully and slightly change your way of writing, people can easily read Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati. They can read Tamil, Telugu,
Yes.
Malayalam, very similar to Devanagari letter. If you
Mm.
pay attention, and generally the script writing, the scripts have been created, have been the major course of academic questions over India, where they say that the scripts are different and therefore languages are different. No, because many Tamils words are Sanskrit, the Malayalam words are Sanskrit, many Telugu words are Sanskrit, and which any North Indian can connect to. And nowadays, even South Indian movies are more famous in North India than any other movies. Both ways.
See, in Purananuru, this is an ancient Sangam literature. In that, the ancient most poem, that is on Palyagasale Mudugudumi Pervaladi, a Pandya king who ruled a land that was submerged in the sea, that is down south of present-day Kanyakumari. That much ancient was his period. Even a song on him uses Sanskrit, Yupa, Akuti. So Akuti and Yupa are Sanskrit. Vijaya, like that, many things are there. So it is only after these British people came, they only seeded the division in our mind.
That's right. That's right. So thank you so much, and thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for all the viewers for watching. Do watch this presentation very attentively and share widely. Namaste and thank you.
Namaskar.